Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Ambassador. I'm Liz Schmidt, the Executive Director of Women Offshore, and it's wonderful to have you with us today. A little about me. I've spent on and off 15 years in the maritime industry, from hands-on dock work experience aboard yachts to managing logistics and supply chains for vessels over 100 feet. Alongside that, I've dedicated much of my career to nonprofit leadership, strategic operations, and community programming. I'm deeply passionate about creating opportunities and building a stronger, more inclusive maritime community, which is why I am so proud to serve with Women Offshore. Today's session is all about you. We're bringing together our ambassadors, an incredible group of professionals with diverse experiences across the offshore industry, to share their stories, insights, and career advice. Whether you're exploring this field, building your career, or looking for mentorship, this is your chance to learn from those who've been in your shoes. Before we dive in, just a quick note, our ambassadors are here to share their professional experiences and career advice. We won't be providing medical, legal, or financial advice, so if your questions touch those areas, we encourage you to seek advice from those licensed professionals. With that said, let's get started, and I'll hand it over to our ambassadors to briefly introduce themselves before we dive into your questions.
Hello, everyone. I'm Svetlana Klitschkova. I'm an offshore surveyor and the director of the Hydrographic Society UK and Ireland. I've been involved in hydrography and promotion of the discipline for more than 6 years, and I'm excited to share my experiences and insights with you today.
Hi everyone, I'm Keely Gavin, founder of Sail to Success and a former HR director on board cruise ships. I'm passionate about helping maritime leaders create culture where crew can thrive, and I'm looking forward to discussing strategies to navigate careers in this industry.
Hello everyone, my name is Maria Quitéria Rego. I'm a rig administrator and Women Offshore ambassador in Brazil. I'm also founder of PWW Project. I've been in the industry for almost 14 years, and I'm super happy to be here in this event to share some of my experiences with you all. I also like to share guidance, and I like to help people on building careers.
Hello everyone, my name is Claudia Machata. I'm a global affairs and security leader in renewable energy, in particular focus on wind and offshore projects. I am also a social scientist and researcher, deeply interested in global affairs and Baltic Sea diplomacy. And I'm very excited to be here with you to share my thoughts and insights from the industry.
Everyone, my name is Chloe. I am an offshore professional with over more than 10 years in geotechnical investigation experience in shallow water and deep water projects across Asia, Europe, and Australia. So in my current role as offshore manager, I oversee geotechnical campaigns, onboard vessels, managing projects, drilling operations, in-situ data, and lab testing. And that includes safety concerns and port call logistics. So having worked with crews and diverse nationalities, I bring both leaderships and interpersonal skills to building strong, safe, and effective teams offshore.
Thank you all for those introductions. It's incredible to have such a great and diverse group of ambassadors to share their experiences today. Now that you've met them, let's dive on into our conversation. To start off, mentorship is a huge part of Women Offshore community. Benjamin asked about our community mentorship program and the benefits behind us, both as a mentor and as a mentee. Can anyone discuss their journey through Women Offshore as a mentor or mentee? Keely, I know you've had some experience in this area. Can you share your perspective?
Hi Liz, yes, thank you so much. I'm actually in my second year of the mentorship program, and it's been such a rewarding part of my journey with Women Offshore. It's been a real privilege not just to celebrate my mentees' milestones, but to walk alongside them through the ups and downs and to learn from them as well. It's very much a two-way relationship. I've had the opportunity to mentor a few different women through the program at very different stages of their careers. For example, one of my current mentees has just graduated from university, and she has recently secured a CAD internship as well. So with her, the focus has been on building confidence and direction as she takes her first steps towards working at sea. But across all of my mentees, there's been great diversity between different roles, different levels But what's really struck me is that common themes come through too. So, like uncertainty, relationships, and the challenges of everyday life. So, whilst mentorship is about career development, it's just as much about navigating daily life and having someone to turn to for support and encouragement as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, congratulations to your mentee. That is such a great accomplishment. Just wanted to see if anybody else had any experiences with the mentorship program that they'd like to share, or with mentorship in general.
I had 2 or 3 experiences. One as a mentee, the other one was as a mentor. Wasn't a very positive, but I think it's something that we have to bring up, maybe to see, for further actions. I feel that a lot of people who goes for the mentorship program, they want a job, they want an offshore job. And like me, when I first entered the program, I was like, okay, I want to change my role, and maybe with the mentorship I will be able to. But it's not like we don't want to work on the process to get it. We think it's to having someone there above us, over us, teaching, and it's going to be easier. It's like, oh no, here is what you're looking for, but it's not like this. So I had both experience, me being a mentee and looking for this, and then being a mentor and receiving the same. So sometimes people get lost, especially when you deal with mentees from countries where there aren't many opportunities or many other programs of women entering the offshore industry. So people get a little frustrated on the way, but I think it's very important to reassure the work that Women Offshore does. I've been here for almost 7 years now, and it really enlightened me on my path. I've been through many changes this past 7 years, even though I'm still on the same role. So I think this is something we have to bring up. It's not being in the mentorship program. It's not about getting a job. It's about working in the process to make get a job, to make change your role. So this is something I think we should share. Just adding.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very well said, Maria. And I think that's a very good piece of advice to share with our community. And that's a really positive insight that you were able to give. Absolutely. Our next question is about some gender barriers offshore. Juanita Black, who works as a senior project manager in an offshore role access company, shared her management believes clients may not appreciate having a woman sent offshore. She asks, is this a common experience, and how have you overcome these similar challenges?
I must admit, I'm surprised to hear about such challenge. In my experience across Europe, the majority of companies, if not all, actively encourage women to pursue careers offshore. I personally can see a clear effort within the industry to promote gender diversity and inclusion. And at the Hydrographic Society, we do the same. We're committed supporting women who are considering offshore work or are already part of the sector. And I personally observed positive changes that reflect this commitment. For example, working on various vessels, I can see that facilities for females have improved with the introduction of female toilets, female changing rooms, and separate waste bins for female products. But, and there is always but, despite these positive changes, prejudice still exists. I do encounter biased behavior from time to time, but luckily these individuals rarely have any influence over my career progression or opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so positive to see that we have seen some great changes over the years. And I think lots of women will agree that we still have far way to go. But we are definitely starting to see those noticeable changes. And I'm seeing the other women here not in agreement. But we, as Women Offshore, are here to continue to make sure that we are an advocacy organization at our core to make sure that all of you have a safe working environment when you are offshore. Our next question comes from Maeve, a teacher considering offshore work. She asks, before I commit to basic training, would I be considered for roles like radio communications or admin with my background in education?
And yeah, thank you for the question. And I wanted to answer this question because I like to divide my part into two parts, my life into two parts, before and after hydrography. And before hydrography, I was working in finance in a completely different industry. And to get a job offshore, I quit my job and went to university to study hydrography. And halfway through my degree, I got a job offer. So what I'm trying to say is that I have no doubts that you will be considered for these roles, but only with the right training and if there is a demand for these jobs. I strongly believe that networking can help in this situation. And for example, people that provide training can give you advice. Maybe there are events or meetings in your area you can attend and ask questions. And if not, I see a LinkedIn as a great and powerful tool to find people and ask them about these roles.
Yeah, absolutely. Networking is so important when you're looking to transition. And I also would want to say be very clear about your intentions and that you're looking for to transition into a role and you're hungry for the knowledge and the education that it takes. So absolutely spell on that. All right, Marissa Neto asked about work-life balance. Specifically, what are the biggest differences between offshore and shoreside careers, and how can someone prepare for this transition?
If I may jump in, maybe. From my perspective, the biggest difference in work-life balance between offshore and seashore careers is for sure the rhythm of the life. Offshore works is typically rotational. You may spend several weeks at the sea, working long hours, but it's followed by a block of time off where you can fully disconnect. Shoreside careers, by contrast, is usually more traditional week schedules. You are back at the evenings at home, but you have less extended time away from work. A major consideration then is being away from your family and loved ones for long stretches. This can be challenging emotionally, and it requires a lot of preparation, not only for you, but also for the loved ones you have at home. Maybe setting an expectations in advance, keeping communication routines, and making most of your time off will help and maintain strong relationships with your family. And how about preparing for the transition? I would say it requires both practical and mindset adjustments. If you are moving offshore, it helps to develop the strong habits that will help you with your well-being on board. In this case, I'm assuming that you'll be reading or exercise or keeping in touch with your family if connectivity allows. And I would say in both cases, flexibility and resilience is the key. Understanding that work-life balance and family balance looks differently when you are offshore versus shoreside. But it will help you to adapt more smoothly to the environment and have most of both environments. Thanks.
Thanks, Claudia. I think Keely also had something to add in this area as well.
And for those making the transition, like Claudia said as well, finding ways to consciously, switch off some coping strategies or mechanisms, whether it's, whatever works for you to help you decompress, whether that's going to the gym, staying in touch with your family and friends, journaling, just something that gives you that release, So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Keely. Yeah, those are some great tips that you guys provided. And I think everyone really does need to make sure that they do find their way to be able to switch off. So Matea submitted our next question for Ambassador Maria. What advice would you give someone looking to build a solid and growing career in the oil and gas industry?
So something came to my mind lately, and I also read in one of the offshore pages that I follow on Instagram. A lot of people, they want to join the offshore industry first because of the high pay, the high salary. And usually they're stable jobs, But the thing is, a lot of people, they think because they have some, the technical qualification, that they can enter the industry, they can join the industry. But offshore industry, it's more than your certification. It's more than your technical high profile. You have to be human. And to enter, as the lady said, with the transition, you have to be able to share space, share things, share everything. So you need to be humble. Oh, but I know how to do this and this and that. Technical knowledge can be learned by anyone. Anyone can achieve it. But the character, the human character, you have to work on that yourself. And I think the industry, it's about plural, it's not singular. So you have to give yourself a step back, to be humble and enter the industry. In Brazil, we have many examples of people who are already an electrician, but they have to enter in a different role, in a, like a down pay grade role, because they need to have the experience offshore, and then they can go up. So with these, you have to be able to see the future that you are building. It's not only going there, work, and getting your money. It's more than this. So I think one of the things that I have learned and developed during these 14 years is to be humble, is to be able to share, it's to be able to listen, because as the lady said, it's where you work, you live, you work, you are confined at sea. There is no way to go home if someone dies, if someone gives a birth. So you need really to work on your soft skills, not only technical, because it's not the certification that will maintain you in the industry. To build a solid career in offshore industry, you really need to be able to be human, not only a good technical person. That's how I see it during this 14 years. Because a lot of people, they think, oh, I know some manager, he's gonna get me a job, or the lady manager will get me a job. Someone can get you a job, but they cannot maintain you there. This is you yourself. So that's how I see the industry today. You need to be able to be a good person along with the good technician you are, or whatever your role is. That's how I see it.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Bringing that human element is so important, especially when we're working together in such a small space. So Cyan asked if you encountered huge setbacks if you encountered huge setbacks in your career, and how did you overcome them? Did you switch paths or power through?
I had a deep depression in 2023, and I was working, and I informed my company, and they fired me because it's easier to talk about Yellow September, and it's easier to make, the banners, the billboards, and the pretty emails talking about mental health. But when someone is actually sick, they don't want to have this job for them. They don't want to have this responsibility. And I had just left one of the companies that I worked for more than 10 years. And I entered this other company for better paid, new international project, better opportunities. I just wanted something new. And then I had been working a lot. So it was not only a depression. Now I see that I had the burnout. I had done 2-3 international projects. I had done 2 or 3 voyages. One took me 73 days confined at sea. And then I wasn't sure what's going to happen, because I needed a job to pay my things. I needed the job to pay my treatment. And then anyway, I started my treatment. I was fired. And once I was stable, I got another job. And so you have to be prepared to whatever comes on the way. You have to be prepared to balance your life. It's not only about work, because once you're committed yourself to it and you're focused and you like what you do, like me, I was always working, I was always doing something. During pandemic, I did not get COVID. So I worked, I had a record of embarkations in my, previous company. So, but then it costed me something, it cost me. So today I balance my life, my working life, my personal life. I still love the industry. I'm here. I think we have to find this balance. I think we need to remember it's a company. It's not our mother. And you have to be prepared for things, but don't prepare yourself for bad things to happen. Prepare yourself to live good things, so you don't need to expect bad things. I didn't do that. I was just trying to hug the world. This is something we say in Portuguese. I was just trying to hug the world. I want to do everything, but I wasn't able. Especially we women, we have this little, feature that we like to control things. So usually we get more stressed. We can get sicker easier, get sick easier. But yeah, so I maintained myself focused in what I wanted to do. I carried on doing a good job. Thank God I'm not sick anymore. And I think I am much better now than before. And I can see clearly that my professionalism didn't go down, especially because of the opportunities that I have had. And I'm super happy to have overcome this, especially that Women Offshore supported me, because I'm still here. So you are very special and important. This organization build strong bonds, and whenever we see a post of featuring anyone around the globe, or whenever we read or hear any one of the podcasts, we think we are not alone. There is someone out there sharing the same story, and we can make it. We can make it together. So yes, that's it.
Thanks, Maria. Yeah, no, it's really inspiring to hear, the challenges that you've overcome and how you've done a little bit of both. You switched path a little bit. You realized that a job wasn't fulfilling your needs, and you were, you recognized that and moved on to a different role, but continued to power through and made it out the other side. And you found support along the way. And so that's a beautiful story. Absolutely. What about the other ambassadors? Does anyone else? I'm sure we all have our stories of setbacks or challenges. Does anyone have a story that they would like to share or perspective on that?
In my intro, I intro myself as the offshore manager. So I don't really start at that level. So it took me about 7 to 8 years to build that career progression. So I started as a geotechnical engineer. And actually, as a woman, I think most of us know, in the career progression is not that fast unless you really, really prove yourself within the company that you can really take this responsibility and roles to carry out the task or the higher or more important tasks that can be assigned and executed in good terms. So it's not like an easy role, especially when you want to, doesn't matter, you want to climb the corporate ladder or you want to climb like a technical ladder in offshore industry. So one of the things that I've learned is, do you really want to just, dive yourself through this career, or you just want to test the water, whether this is good for you or are you suitable to grow in this industry? So once you have set your goal or your focus that you really wanted this role or career progression, you just have to focus and put all your effort to it. So all these years, I think about since 2014, yeah. So it took me quite a while to jump from engineer to management role as an offshore manager. It's not easy. I'm actually proud to say in the current company I'm working, the role of offshore manager in Asia Pacific in the current company, I'm the only woman. the rest are men. But all the other in the European side and American, we have a lot of women as offshore managers already. So it actually down to personal herself that whether this is something that you really want or is that something that you just want to try and or maybe this is not what I really want. So when you encounter this kind of little bit setbacks or huge setbacks, you just need to prove yourself and just power through it. And one day you achieve it. It won't take like 1-2 months or a year or something. People need to see what you can do. People need to see what you can prove to them. So a lot of skills like what Maria mentioned earlier, you need to really build yourself from when you started in this industry. People will look at you not just technical, but they want to look at how you carry yourself in the working environment with the men, with the women, everyone with diverse nationalities, like how you bring yourself. Can you work with everybody, or you can work with certain people? So this is something that I've learned throughout my career. So yeah, I think everybody can do this. It's just that you need to put your mind on it and give your effort to the best. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Chloe. Well, what an accomplishment. Congratulations for powering through, and I think your advice of it's not going to happen immediately. I think, that's patience, right? Is, good things will take time, and you do need to prove yourself, and this type of work, it can be very dangerous. It can be very technical. There's a lot of nuances and a lot of niches in the maritime industry, and it takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of being humble. I think those are some of the key tropes that we have seen throughout our conversation today. So thank you so much for your contribution to that. So our next question comes from Joanna, who has a degree in logistics engineering and works as an able seaman. She asks, are there nationality requirements if I'd like to apply to be a part of the Women Offshore program?
I will jump in here.
Yeah.
I'm very glad actually that we got this question from Polish cadet, as I'm Polish myself. To answer directly, no, there is no requirements if you would like to join Women Offshore community. I highly encourage to visit our webpage, Women Offshore, to see mentorship opportunities for cadets and early professionals. It runs every 6 months, gives access to Knowledge Hub, and you can actually connect with your mentor through mobile phone. So the distance is not the barrier either. All the requirements are mainly related if you would like to join the US program. And maybe I will ask you, Liz, to explain a bit more about US program for international participants. Please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So we do have our mentorship program that Claudia explained is a global program, and we match mentors based on lots of different factors. And so we work diligently to ensure that our mentorship program is of high quality, so that the mentors and the mentees are matched based on what each individual is seeking out of that mentor-mentee relationship. In addition to that, we do have our ambassador program. So of course, you guys have met a few of our ambassadors today, but we have 18 ambassadors from across the globe who work to share the work of Women Offshore, to advocate for women in their specific countries or regions or work areas, but as well as to share the resources that Women Offshore offers across the globe. On the U.S. side, we offer some in-person events. We offer a 2-day conference once a year, and this year we'll be hosting that in Houston. And we also have a one-day symposium as well that's usually focused towards leadership and growth. And so we have some US-based events. And then whenever possible, we encourage women to come together and network at different opportunities. And so there are various trade shows and boat shows and other events across the globe that our ambassadors do an excellent job of gathering women together to really help with that networking and building that community from that side of it. Okay. We also received a general topic question about shoreside careers and career growth. Can you guys share your insights on what to expect in an interview, how to present yourself, and what a strong CV should include?
Yes, thank you for the question, Liz. I think there are three key parts to this question. Firstly, what a strong CV should look like, how to present yourself, and then what to expect in an interview. So, firstly, I suppose in terms of a strong CV, you should absolutely have your contact information and make sure you have a professional email address there as well, your LinkedIn profile if that's relevant too. Then you should have a personal profile or summary, and that should be 3 to 5 lines at the top of your CV to summarize who you are, your key strengths. Think of it like your elevator pitch, but on paper kind of a thing. Then you should go into your career experience in reverse chronological order. So, your job title, your company name, and your dates of employment, and just 2 to 3 bullet points on your key achievements for that role as well. Don't list out your job duties because you don't want it to read like a job description. And where possible, back it up with data because that will really help nail your points home as well. Then you should go into your education and qualifications, your degrees, certifications, licenses, professional training, and also outline your skills that are relevant to the role that you're applying for too, hard skills, soft skills, whatever's relevant. Any volunteer work, professional memberships, any publications or speaking engagements also. And I think the key thing for a strong CV is to keep it to 1 to 2 pages if possible. Recruiters do skim a CV. They're not going to read a novel. And to also tailor your CV for the role that you're applying for. Don't, complete your CV and submit it for 10 different roles. You do need to make sure that you've tailored it and you highlight what matches the job description for what you're applying for. And just keep it simple, clean layout, no fancy graphics unless you're in that creative field as well. So in short, really a strong CV is clear, it's concise, it's achievement focused, and it's tailored to the role. In terms of the interview itself, many interviews are actually competency based. So if you hear questions like, tell me about a time when, or can you give me an example of a time when, those are classic competency based questions. So if you hear those types of questions in an interview, you should use the STAR method to answer your questions. So that is situation, task, action, and result. And using that structure will help you. It'll help you calm your nerves. If you're nervous in the interview, it'll help you answer the question appropriately as well. And I would always finish off that structure with a well-rounded, what did you learn from the situation? And then if you're faced with the situation again, would you do anything differently? Because that really shows a well-rounded, self-reflective answer. And just an insider tip from me, if the interviewer is doing their job properly, they may ask you probing questions to, extract the necessary information to make sure that you've answered the question properly. So if they do ask you probing questions, don't panic. It just means that you haven't answered the question fully yet. So expand and give more detail on the question that you've been asked. And just don't ever assume that the interviewer knows you just from your CV. The CV is the first step. The interview is the second step. So each question is usually weighted around a scoring matrix. So every answer counts. And your job is really to go in, sell yourself and shine. So preparation is really key, in terms of showing up to the interview, being punctual, being professional, and being prepared.
Thanks, Keely. One thing I'd like to ask as a follow-up is with the rise in AI, what recommendations do you have for job seekers when wanting to utilize AI with assistance in writing their CV?
I think it's a great question, Liz. I think AI is such a useful tool, and especially when utilized in the right way. I would advise, obviously, it can help the user to extract their key skills and help them communicate it in an effective and impactful way. but it's also important not to let AI, write it for you, but actually just help you understand yourself better, maybe, and not to embellish your skills, so to speak. It's also important to keep, transparency and be honest about your skills and what you are capable of as well. But it can certainly help you prepare for your interview. It could help you anticipate what kinds of questions you're going to be asked as well. It can help you prepare you some of your examples, fitting into the STAR method, and what kind of competency-based questions you might be asked. If you also could actually use AI to run by the job description for the role that you're applying for and help it kind of help you analyze that job description and anticipate the types of questions that you would be asked.
Great. Thank you so much, Keely. I think that's really important to you use AI properly and to not let it do all of the work for you, but really utilize it as a tool to help enhance your work. Well, thank you guys all so much for such thoughtful answers. It's clear while offshore work comes with unique challenges, there's also incredible opportunities for growth, community, and impact. We're so grateful for our ambassadors and for everyone who has submitted questions. This has been such an inspiring and wonderful conversation, so thank you all.